At the end of 9 months, 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 I will carry my baby, I will breastfeed my baby, I will cuddle my baby, I would hug my baby, I would kiss my baby. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Omari Bidesi. Thanks for clicking on this video. Thanks for joining in. If you're new here, please do make sure you subscribe to my channel, and thanks for joining in on this video. And to my OGs, thanks for always coming back to watch my video. I love you and I appreciate you. Today, finally, I'm going to be talking about my labor and my delivery experience. So today is my labor and delivery story time. Have I ever had a story time? I don't think so. I think this is going to be my very first story time. Yes, if I can remember. I think this will be my very first story time. So I've been wanting to talk about this, my labor and delivery experience, or share my labor and delivery story for a while now, like for months. But every time I want to do it, every time I think of it, I just realize that I don't yet have that time, because baby needs me every now and then, and I needed to be in the right space, right frame of mind to sit down and do this video, talk about this. So that's it. Now, before I go ahead, I want to show you this beautiful dress I'm wearing. Let me just stand up. So, I can't really go. Let me just, how far can I go? I don't want to scatter this. Let me just move this chair for a while. So this beautiful dress I'm wearing, it's still a full-length dress. Let me just show you before I talk about it. I love it so much, and there's a story behind this beautiful dress I'm putting on. So before I talk about my labor and delivery story, let me just give you this pre-story. Apparently my husband was planning a surprise baby shower for me, and I didn't know. Like, okay, obviously it's a surprise, I definitely will know. So I used to talk about wanting a baby shower, wishing for a baby shower, that okay, it's going to be amazing, people coming together to celebrate me before I give birth to my baby and not have time for myself anymore. So I just wanted something special for me, and obviously for baby, but mostly for me. So I usually just chip it into my husband's ears and tell him that I love baby showers, I want it, but it has to be a surprise, because you'd be like, do it now, organize it. And I always said it has to be a surprise, or else it won't mean anything to me if I'm the one that goes through the stress with my big belly. So, but his response didn't really seem as if he was going to do it. He was always like, it's broke, and I understood that we had to save up for baby, buy things for baby, and just get ready for her. So I just fashioned it, and I zeroed my mind from any surprise baby shower. Like, I never even thought it was ever going to happen. If I thought it was going to happen, I never thought it was going to be for my husband. So after I gave birth and I had few people come visit me, that was when my husband now told me that he has been hiding something from me, that actually the day I gave birth, either the day I gave birth or the next day, the day after, was meant to be my surprise baby shower. Everybody was in on it, my friends, my cousins, my siblings, his friends, like everybody I would have loved to see on a surprise event for me were in on it, and I did not even have a clue. So he told me it was meant to be the week before. That was the week I did my maternity shoot, but it wasn't just going to happen because of the time. We did it late, we started late, and we left there very late, so they postponed it. And my cousin that took the photo, did the photo shoot for me, knew about it. I didn't know. So they've already prepared. My friend Miriam made this dress for me. Kausa was already preparing. My another friend of mine named Kausa, she had already baked the cake already. She had made an order for the cake. My cousin Kenny had already prepared for the chops, and everybody was already just getting ready. So he told me that the moment I told him I had given birth, he had to call everyone and tell them that the baby shower won't happen again. And they were all sad initially, but the moment they got to hear the reason why it wasn't going to happen again, they were just very happy that obviously this is the reason why we're doing the baby shower in the first place. So if the baby came early, no problem. So that's the reason why I decided to put on this beautiful dress. Thanks, Miriam. Just to be in the moment, in that mood. If I couldn't wear it for my baby shower, let me still wear it for something. Obviously, I'm going to wear it for other outings, but I decided to wear it first for this video to talk about this my experience. So now let's go back to the main reason for this video, my labor and delivery story. So I gave birth to my beautiful daughter on the 1st of May, thanks to the Almighty, around 7 a.m., about 7 a.m. Yes. But the story started from Wednesday, so that's when it's going to really make sense. So on Wednesday, I woke up normally. I usually wake up late. So I woke up the way I usually woke up, and the first thing I go to do when I wake up most of the times is to go and ease myself. So I went to ease myself, and as soon as I flushed, I noticed something bloody. Okay, they took the light. So as soon as I flushed, I noticed something bloody. And the moment I noticed the stain, as soon as I flushed, I noticed the stain. And I was so scared because I was already in my 36 weeks, and I'm like, I've not read or heard anywhere about saying stains. So I just went to call my husband immediately. I was really, really scared because I did not want to hear any story. I didn't want any issue, till I gave birth. I didn't want anything happening wrong. So I called my husband and I asked him if I told him I was going to call or communicate to my doctor to just hear if everything is okay, to just let him know and for him to reassure me that everything is fine. At that time, my doctor wasn't in the country, so I had to send him a WhatsApp message, and thank God he usually responds. The moment he sees your message, he doesn't ignore it. He responds as soon as he sees it and is able to. So he responded and he told me that I should observe, that he doesn't think there's anything wrong, that it's normal. It shows that baby is coming anytime soon. So I shouldn't worry. That was just what he told me. So I didn't see any reason to worry. I was crying. Even when he told me that I should not worry, actually, I was already crying. And I told him that I'm really scared. And he said there was no reason to be scared. He said I should observe for another hour to see if the bleeding stops. If it stops, I should let him know. If it doesn't, I should also let him know. Then he also asked me when my next antenatal was going to be, and I told him it was going to be the following day. And he was like, oh, don't worry, we will see. My mother was like, we will see. Is he around? I hope he's around because I would love to be the one I get to see. So my husband came home and he told me he had to read a lot about it, and he heard that it's probably a bloody show, meaning baby is coming anytime soon. It could be the next hour, it could be the next. Oh God, I wanted to do this video when there was light so that this generator wouldn't disturb. But unfortunately, there's nothing I could do. So please bear with me. This generator is so loud. But I hope this mic is going to kind of reduce the loudness because I cannot do this video another time. So please just bear with me. So so he told me he had done his research and he heard that it's nothing to worry about. Baby could come the next day, next week, depending on whatever God wants, but it shows that your baby is coming anytime soon. And I was like, please, I have things I need to do, not yet. We've not yet set up our crib, we've not yet just done the major, although we've bought everything, almost everything we needed, but we've not yet done just the setting up, just the arranging of everything, knowing that okay, we are fully prepared for baby. So no problem, I didn't say anything. I tried my best to just relax myself and I just waited till the next day. So the next day I went to the hospital for my normal antenatal visit and I saw my doctor. Thank God he made sure I got to see him. So when I saw him, it was just like everything is fine. He's just going to write he was going to write for me to do a scan just to make sure everything is fine, but he knows everything is fine, that I shouldn't worry. So I just decided to ask him that, doctor, is it possible that I'm still going to give birth to my baby? my baby would stay till 40 weeks, or would it be earlier? And it was like, it can still be 40 weeks, and it could be next week, it could be any time. But when I'm like, in my mind, I was like, it's still 36 weeks, so why should baby come? Maybe she's going to come 37 weeks or 38 weeks, but not 36 weeks plus. That was what I was saying to myself on that Thursday. I even remember when I went for the scan, because I went for the scan that same day, and the radiologists or the radiographers were like, that I'm still like, they were not even, they didn't want to even say I was 36 weeks. I think because they always like to calculate their gestational period or whatever themselves. So they were like, they feel I was in my 35 weeks or something. I was like, I'm in my 36 weeks plus. So there was no sign. They didn't even see any reason why I should be having a bloody show, because there wasn't any sign in the scan that baby was coming anytime soon. I don't know if they were supposed to see anything, but there was nothing to worry about. So I went home feeling happy, feeling okay that everything was fine. And that was how that Thursday was for me. Then on Friday, I started noticing some severe pains. So I used to have some pains in my third trimester, and the pains were always very serious, just for a period of time. So what happens will be, it always seemed as if she was moving in a very, very strong way, and maybe that movement, or how she was protruding a part of her body, maybe that movement meant that that movement was what was causing the pain. Probably because of what now eventually happened, maybe those were Braxton Hicks contractions that I just thought it was movement, because the pain would last for a while, for some minutes, then later it will stop and it will come back, and you will just see that side very, very hard. So I just didn't read any meaning to it. But this time around on that Friday, it was a very, 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 very sharp pain. When I say sharp pain, I mean it was a very, very sharp pain at my spine. That was the different thing. I told my husband when I complained about it, that this pain, what makes the difference is that as much as I'm feeling the hardness and the movement here, the pain is coming from my back. Like, I literally have to stop what I'm doing and breathe in and out, or do something to just redirect that focus. Let me not focus on the pain. That's how bad the pain was. And after a while, it's going to stop, then it will come again, but it wasn't following a particular pattern. It was still irregular. I was not like, hey, could this be the Braxton Hicks contractions I've been hearing about? Maybe this is false labor, or maybe it's just nothing, maybe it's just the movement. But like I said, I wasn't so certain. And the reason why I wasn't so certain that it was what usually happened to me before was because there was a new thing. There was something new in this pain, which is the pain was coming from my back instead of my lower abdomen, my pelvic area. So I kept on enduring the pain. I made sounds. I was not screaming, but I was just making some, sounds to reconcentrate myself, to just focus on something else. And I would talk about it with my husband. He would ask a lot of questions. The later it will go, I'll feel a bit better, and it will come back again. Then eventually around afternoon/evening, the pain went. I was able to cook. I made poundo yam. I ate. I was very, very okay. I was very, very strong. Then in the middle of the night, around 12, I went to take a shower because I kind of sleep late. So I went to take a shower, and I noticed that it was 12, and May 1st is my friend's birthday. Now, that's my friend Kautara. Now, let me just give you a brief gist. So Kautara was always saying, when I told her that the due date of my baby was May, she was like, she wanted to be May 1st. She wanted my daughter to be her birthday mate. And I was like, it's not possible, because all the scan says from 23rd of May to 27th of May. That's just very far apart. Even if she's going to be earlier or come out earlier, it's going to be maybe 15th of May or 10th of May, not 1st of May. So I just made her know that it was not possible. She always kept on saying she wanted to be May 1st, she wanted to be May 1st. So I called her and I was like, Kautara, I want to just wish you happy birthday now before I sleep and now wake up late. And when I now wake up late, I might just forget to wish you happy birthday. So happy birthday. And I prayed for her. But she was kind of sleepy, so we didn't really get to talk for long. But the thing is, while I was talking to her, I was already feeling some pains. And I was like, hope this thing has not started coming back. But I just ignored it. I was on talking to her. I did my routine, cleaning. I cleaned my stomach, my nipple area, just with coconut oil. I did the routine I usually do. I got dressed and I went to the parlor to lay down, and the pain started. Like, it came back exactly the way I felt it the first time, and it started having a regular pattern. I don't know how to explain. It started following a particular interval, so every 30 minutes, and I was like, this seems like what I've read or heard about contractions. Like, it's looking as if it's following a certain pattern, and it didn't stop. So after every maybe 4 minutes, to come back and last for a certain number of minutes, or maybe 1 minute. Then, so I think it started happening that way. So my husband woke up because he heard my screaming. I wasn't screaming so loud, but he heard my noises, and he was like, let's just try out this app. I think I had downloaded the app before then, but I hadn't used it. So I was like, let's see if it's even going to mean anything. So we started tracking it using the contraction app. And after, I think on the third pain I was feeling, we're now advised to either start preparing to go to the hospital, or if the hospital was far, we should make sure we start going to the hospital. And I'm like, no, I'm not ready for this. No, I'm not ready for this. This shouldn't be happening right now. I'm sure they're going to send us back, but just in case, let me just start packing my hospital bag. So I was like, I wanted to do this was my hospital bag video for lots of reasons. I just wanted to have a video out there based on the things I packed, and I was like, let me just do anything, even if I won't do it the way I wanted to do it. Let me just still put out something. At least it will still be tangible compared to not doing anything. I just managed myself through the pain. I got dressed. I wore one beautiful abaya given to me by LBS Fashion, and I did the video through severe pains. Like, you guys need to watch that video if you want to, for you to understand what I experienced. I showed some clips of my contraction period, but you have to watch the video to understand what I mean. So I did that video, and while I was doing that video, my husband was just behind the scenes helping me pack my things, helping me get everything ready, just till I finished the video. And as soon as I was done with the video, we're setting out to go to the hospital. And before we set out, I told my husband that, hope you're not going to be nervous driving me while I'm screaming. I hope you will be able to focus on the road, because it was around to 4 at that time a.m. So we got out, and it was about to start the car. As we were starting the car didn't start. So he went to go and call a neighbor of ours, and he asked them to help him with the battery so they can just start the car. But luckily, thank God, they offered to drive us to the hospital, and I was so glad, because I knew that it wouldn't be easy for my husband driving. I just felt he would want to be consoling me, telling me sorry, at the same time wanting to focus on the road. It's just best if someone else did the driving for us. So I was so glad. So this man came out. He drove really, really fast, and I think I had about 3 to 4 contractions while I was still in the car. It was getting worse. It was as if as soon as I stepped out, my baby knew that I'm ready to go to the hospital. So she kept on pushing coming down. She kept on telling me, mommy, I'm ready to come now, rush to the hospital, because the pain became very, very intense. So I got to the hospital, and took the elevator straight. I had to manage myself and walk to the active labor room, or labor ward, or whatever it's called, and they said I'm in labor. But when the person that took me there said I was in labor, in my mind I was like, please, sir, don't get ahead of yourself. This might just be false labor, and they will have to tell me to go back home. So please, just don't get ahead of yourself. And the woman told me, okay, bring out your nightingale, bring out this, bring out that, and follow me. And the woman checked me. We were very, very uncomfortable. She was so nice to tell me she told me to let her know when my contraction has gone down before she checked me. So when it went there, I told her, and she checked me, and she was like, oh yeah, get your baby's clothes, she told me all the things I needed to get, and she was like, you're about to give birth to your baby. I'm like, I couldn't. I think the first thing that came to my mind was, my baby is coming on the May 1st, like 1st of May. My baby is coming out 1st of May. How is that possible? Well, I was like, no, it might not be possible. Maybe my labor might still take some hours, because I heard first time moms, most of the times they spend hours, 12 hours, sometimes 24 hours in their, as in during their labor, going through pain. Sometimes they even have to get induced. Just different things have to happen. So I was like, it's nothing. It can't be today. Like, Kausar cannot have this. I wish it would be so miraculous if that happened. So I didn't say anything. I was just like, okay, no problem, no problem. Then I got everything she asked me to get, and she asked me to lay on the bed. She put something around my waist to monitor my baby's heartbeat, I guess. And she was like, you're doing well, continue whatever it is you're doing, because around that time I've already started working on my breathing. Continue whatever it is you're doing, you're already 4 centimeters dilated. And I was like, wow, 4 centimeters. Like, I've heard people at that time, even with all those pains or whatever, they've not even reached 1 centimeter, not to talk of 4 centimeters. So it was a big deal for me, and I was very impressed and very happy. So even though I was feeling serious pains, she gave me something that she said was going to help reduce the pain. I don't know if it helped reduce the pain or just prevented it from getting worse than it already was, but I just laid there on my left, because she told me I should lay in that position, and every little time I had to relax, from the pain, kept on reducing. So initially I could relax for 2 minutes, but later it was just 1 minute or less. So the moment I have the contractions, I made certain sounds. I tried my best not to, barrage, not to just scatter myself, to compose myself, and I didn't want to scream so loud, because I was not so strong throughout my pregnancy. When I say I was not so strong, it was in my third trimester I started gaining some weight. I lost a lot of weight in my first and second trimester. So I needed to save the little energy I had for pushing. So I was just trying my best not to shout so much. And sometimes when I could, I was working on my breathing. So I just kept on working on my breathing. I was breathing out and breathing in. The breathing did not prevent the pain, or it didn't stop the pain, but I think it just helped me to concentrate on something else, to more or less like control the pain, how the pain affected me. It wasn't easy, because imagine having this sharp pain, and I was feeling, the contraction was at my back at some point, and it kept on looking as if the contraction started going down. From my back, it started going down to my hip area. If you understand what I mean, it was going down. So I also felt as baby was coming down up until the crowning period. So the pain was so sharp, and when you feel the relief of that pain for a period of time, the fact that this pain is coming back any moment in that same intensity, if not more, is even scary enough. So even the break I had wasn't enjoyable for me, because I knew, okay, this pain was coming back. So I was just waiting, laying down, and that matron was so nice. She kept telling me, don't worry, you're doing well. She came back and checked me, and she was like, already you're 6 centimeters, don't worry, keep doing what you're doing amazingly well. Like, I'm so surprised, and I was very, very happy. So I lay down, I was resting, and something happened during in between my contraction, because where the hospital I delivered was a specialist hospital. So we have all types of doctors. We have resident doctors, house officers, consultants, senior reg, name it. So I think the doctor that came was either a resident doctor or a house officer. I think he's a house officer. I don't want to insult this person, because I just want to be nice. This person saw me going through pain. He saw me in the labor ward, and he saw something around my stomach, and a monitor to check. Even the monitor was already making some sound, like heartbeat sound. And this person came with a file or whatever and asked me, what are you here for? Does that even make any sense? The person was like, what are you here for? And I was like, I'm about to give birth, I'm in labor. He was like, do you smoke? Do you do this? All those routine questions they ask. I feel there's time for everything, and I feel sometimes you have to read the room before you do some things, even if you're trying to follow protocols. I was feeling pains, and you're a doctor, that there is a phase. This is the contraction. If at all you want to ask a question, let me know what you're asking the question for. Introduce yourself. Let me know what you're here to do. You should not be coming to ask me what I'm here for. You should be able to know that I'm here for a reason. Maybe you got the information from the matron, or you should know because of, you should have sense. And Let me know that, okay, you have some routine questions to ask me. The moment my contraction has gone down, I should just give you an answer to every question you ask me. That's just a reasonable thing to do. This person was asking me questions, and even though it was obvious that I was going through excruciating pain, this person was giving me this look like, answer now, I'm asking you a question. Like, I had to tell him that, please, can you allow my contraction to go down first, before he now kept his mouth shut and waited for me. That was when my negative, experience, or my negative review came from. That was the beginning. I never knew that there was more to come. So